Counting down.
Can you
Happy
hear me?
Friday, beautiful
Can you
souls.
hear me?
Hugh and Lisa here.
Hey guys, how you doing?
So today we're doing something fun and exciting. We want to talk about, let me see what's happening here. We are going to be talking about, just real quick, common home buyer expenses. I'm so excited that we talk about, I'm playing around with this new key features on this thing, so I'm pretty excited. Happy Friday, you guys. I know some of you are on your lunch hour, if you're out there working, if it's a day off for you. Woohoo! Hugh.
Hey, I hope you guys are having a good day. Woohoo! If you're off and enjoying the sunshine, please have at it.
So cool. So Hugh and I wanted to come on and talk about common home buyer expenses, just to kind of just get some things on the brain. You guys oftentimes think of only the down payment as the initial expense, and then there's other expenses tied into your loan and stuff like that. But what about post closing? Now you have successfully closed on the purchase of your home. Now what? You got to move in, right? So I love that the California Association of Realtors sends out some tips and stuff like that we wanted to bring to you and share to you. So some of the things that they were talking about were common home buyer expenses, such as window coverings, window treatments. And I realized, Hugh, I know you've seen this, like some of the new houses that have that paper blinds in the window.
And most of the home shoppers out there have seen the same thing as well. Well, those things will need to be replaced.
Right. So the home buyer expenses include property alterations and repairs, because most oftentimes it's where you move into a property where it's perfect, where there's nothing you have to do. Of course, you're going to bring in your own taste, right? So this picture graph that I'm looking at, Hugh, actually says property alterations and repairs, it says, can range to about, looks like these are averages, about $3,729. That's in addition to your down payment and closing costs. It also talks about living room chairs and tables for those of you who want to have a nice pub set, right? What else? What are some other things, Hugh?
Oh, well, the common things, is according to what you're making the transition from. If you're going from apartment living to home living, you have certain things like washer and dryer. You're going to need the living room furniture. You're going to need the whole setup for like your maybe outdoor space. So these things can be done over time, but to get started, basic things that you'll need are simple things like wash and dryer. Most people buy a home want their washer and dryer in their home. They don't want to go to the laundry anymore. That alone can range about $1,000, between $500 to $1,000. Little things like that. The matching set. Most people, they buy a home, they don't want to mix and match their set, so they want the matching set. That can range too. So you have to sort of budget those things as you're allocating other needs.
So there's furniture. What else is here? Let me see. This thing talks about, you mentioned appliances, and those are big ticket appliances, right? So stoves, refrigerator, washer, dryer, and this is saying on average we're looking at about a $3,000 expense. So this is post closing now. Sofas. This says on average people are spending $700 for sofas.
Yeah, so it's the little things that we don't really think about, because you may want to bring some with you. Most people have something to bring with them, but it's the other things that you don't really think about that pops up and just hits you in the face. Things like when you move from an apartment to a house, you usually have more wall space, artwork. things like that. Simple things most people are very familiar with this is just somewhere to put your television. Most people have a TV set. You buy a house, you want the designer TV set, you want it to look nice, that can be an expense. Simple thing like internet service, things like those are all added expenses that in the overall picture doesn't seem like much, but when you add it up, over time, it becomes quite expensive.
Yeah, all those things adds up. So just to we just came on here. Happy Friday, Hugh and Lisa, if you just tuned in. We're talking about common home buyer expenses. For those of you who have not purchased a home and you're thinking about purchasing, there are some things to think about post-closing and that you should be preparing for. So you've done a great job now in saving for your down payment of your home. Also, you've saved for closing costs, and oftentimes we'll negotiate and asking that the seller assist you with closing costs. But depending on the market, that may not be an option that's available to you. So in particular, like we're in a seller's market, right, Hugh? You want to talk about how maybe asking for closing costs during a seller's market can impact your ability to getting your offer accepted?
Well, of course, it's when you make an offer, the best way to have your offer accepted is have the cleanest offer possible. And especially in this sort of climate when there's multiple offers. We just did an offer on a property and there were 6 other offers. So the reason we were able to get the property is our offer had the best overall package to the seller. So these are the things that we have to keep in mind, and you as the buyer have to keep in mind when you're making your offer. So it's a give and take most of the time, but not always so.
Right. If you just joined in, drop a comment, say hi, hello, so that we know you're here. We really appreciate you just stopping in and viewing us for a moment. So in addition to down payment and closing costs, we're talking about post-closing. Post-closing. That means you've closed escrow, woohoo, successfully. We have now handed you the keys and you did that. And guess what? You're like, I need to furnish this place. I need to be in my living space. And now where do I begin? And oftentimes, I know Hugh and I oftentimes like to speak to buyers and say, let's talk about your immediate needs and what can wait. What we can hold off on, right? Because oftentimes people want to come in. And people always want to come in, got my new place, I'm so excited, and I just want to do a complete makeover because everybody's watching real estate makeover shows. Don't do that. Let's first get acclimated to being a homeowner. Let's get acclimated to new utility expenses. Let's get acclimated to your home and not just jump right in to furnish it. Now, what we can do is do a housewarming, and maybe you might have some, like Hugh says, designer friends that
have them help you out. And most friends are willing to sort of, donate to a cause. If you have a registry, they will definitely sort of stock you up with pots and pans, things like that. I mean, because the old things, there's like the pots and pans that you may have had from your mom, from your grandma, from your dad, from your grandfather that you want to keep. But when you get a new house, you want new stuff. So don't be afraid or reluctant to do a registry, because that is a wonderful way to get started. In addition to that, become friends with a plumber, a fix-it guy. And what you do is, at that point, before there's any cost, say, hey, how can we work out a deal? I mean, this is the time where you begin to say, hey, you're looking long-term now. You're going to be in this house for a while. And you can negotiate with anyone. I mean, you can negotiate at Home Depot. Now, a lot of people go into Home Depot and they buy stuff and they just go for face price. But do you know that you can go over to the contractor's window and say to them, hey, I just bought this house. I'm going to be shopping here for a while. Can I get a 3% discount? Can I get a 5% discount? And little things like that over time will make your life so much easier, because remember, you're going to be in this house for 5 to 10 years. Think long term.
I like that. Think long term. And on that note, you guys, we're going to go ahead and end. We'll see you pretty soon. Hugh, do you want to shout out what's happening? Any new listings, at least in our market?
Whoa, blatant advertisement. Hey, guys, we have a new listing in View Park. We're going to start showing it in about, I would say in about 8 to 10 days. 4,000 square feet, 1.35. Bring your friends. This is a bomb listing. This is so nice. The shower area is almost 8 feet by probably 5 feet. The shower room alone, hot property. Stop by, give us a call. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call us. And in the next few months, we're going to start a new process where we are going to cater to people who are working on graveyard shifts. Come on, Lisa, talk about it. Come on, hit them. Tell them. Graveyard shifts.
So what we are wanting to do, and we're doing it already, but I think we need to be clear that what other services we offer, and this is especially because not everyone is working the same shift. So we want you guys to know that we are actually making our services available to those of you who tend to work those early morning hours, those late hours, swing shift, graveyard shifts. And it's kind of difficult to get anything done in the day if you're sleeping because you were working all night. So we want to make sure that you know that we're offering those special after-hour services, and we are connecting with vendors and other partners that will be available after the normal 9 to 5. Hugh, but we're like 8 to 8 now. We don't do 9 to 5. We're like 7 to 7 of the next day. But I don't say that to say that we're overworking ourselves. But what I say that to share is that we are introducing flexibility for people who don't fit the 9 to 5 schedule, as oftentimes people work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, they're off weekends. But oftentimes when you guys meet us out in the field, when do you meet us? On the weekend, on your day off, in an evening time where you have your downtime. So we're realizing that that may not be the most effective way to force you into our world if that's not really your world. So we want to make sure that we can make ourselves available to you during those evening, those late night appointments, when you're pretty much, that's the start of your day or night because you're working late at night or you're just going into work. So we just want to let you know that we're bringing that aboard. So I'm really excited about that. And so let me just
have vendors that are our trusted vendors that will work within your schedule. So if you're working at from 8 to 3 in the morning and you need a plumber to come in late or early, we have those people that we have access to, and we're more than happy to share. So if you have any questions, give us a call.
Great, great. And so we've got the new listing, we've got new hours available. What else, Hugh? There's just tons of things that we want to continue to innovate and make available to you guys. So stay tuned. If you haven't had a chance yet, please subscribe. Hugh is on Facebook at 2Hugh. I'm going to plug it in here for Hugh. Make sure you stay in contact with him. And
also, give us questions. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Just give us a shout out. We'll be more than happy to answer them.
So questions, where should they shout us out again if they're interested?
2Hugh on Facebook, right? That's where I am, something like that.
Yeah, 2Hugh. You're on Facebook. You're on Instagram.
Come on, you have like tons of stuff.
I'm Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter at LA Super Agent. But most importantly, I want to leave the number here for you guys. So again, let us be a service, a resource to you if you're interested in selling or buying. If you need to do senior downsize, give us a call. We're at 323-348-1222. Have a fantastic Friday, you guys, and make it an awesome week.